and the statements they've made so far, we've had instances where a PS, a very senior government official, is linked to some goons. And you wonder, okay, fine, do we have time to reverse this before the next election?
Fred, I don't doubt the capacity of Kenya to get security right. If anything, I don't even doubt the capacity of Dr. Omolo to really handle this. Remember, ever since Dr. Omolo came in, we've had reduction in the problems in the Northern Hemisphere that were disturbing us all the time. Ever since they came in, we have, there was a time terrorism was on the high here. We were having the Westgate attack and all these things. So there's something that they have been able to do from those ends. So I believe that just handling this goon culture is something that they can actually handle. Once
the Deputy Governor Kakamega seems to suggest kuna uoga. You need to be like Mishuki. There's some reluctance.
I don't know
you know the problem, but you're like, ni kazi hakuna.
I really believe that we have one of the best intelligence systems even within our security sector, at least within the East African region and even the African region. So when our interior docket and when our security sector chooses to really handle this menace, it will actually come to an end. Look at what they did. Look at what they did in Kitale just about a month ago. There was a big problem in Kitale. I think less than 3 weeks later, the Kitale is very quiet now. So it's actually something that is not a question of how much time do they need. No, it's just a question of the moment they choose to do it, that is it.
What was your interjection? Briefly, because it's
I disagree with the advice because I'm an economist and we believe in numbers, isn't it? We don't believe on stories.
Yeah.
How many policemen do we have in Kenya? It's around 150,000, isn't it? For 56 million people, police cannot solve the problem.
But we're not all goons.
It is anchored on the
just wait.
imagination
just
that
wait.
56 million people are goons.
I agree with him, and that's why I'm telling him that goon has become an economy where people earn money, people earn a living, they educate and uneducated because it's been created. Government own goons, opposition own goons, everybody own goons. Now there's even some CEOs have their goons because some things you can't do without it. It's become an economy. You want to launch even Omo in Kibra. Without goons, you can't. You get my point? So you want to run a school, isn't it? You also have to find how to manage it. So what I'm trying to talk about here, Fred, is that we cannot say that we want to become like P.S. Omolo should become like Michuki at this time. He will have a problem. The same mentality is what killed Gen Zs on 25th of June 2024. The best way to control people is to ensure that you take care of them. That's it. Let me tell you, Fred, even you go home. Let's say I have 5 kids at home and my wife. Immediately, I cannot take care of them, I'll have a problem. They'll come after me. It will happen anywhere. So what is the youth asking for? That's what we should be asking, other than, are they goons? To demystify this thing, even New York, remember, let me give you a history about the US. The Italians became very dangerous in Al Capone movie, you know it. It is only when they came out, brought the New York economy to boom the way it's booming, to become a financial center. Goonism became useless. Goonism is not in Kenya. In Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 16 says there's nothing new under the sun. Whatever Kenya is going through is not unique to Kenya. It has happened before. And it has happened elsewhere and it was solved.
That you used the New York example, that it was run by gangs at some point. We've seen Haiti, what's happening. It's a reality that, yes, it could get to a point that security apparatus and this goons or gangs or whoever runs this insecurity elements become the leaders.
That's correct, Fred. And that is only possible if we fail to do certain things correctly.
Kama kuna uoga, ile Savula amesema.
Na Mheshimiwa Savula anapoongea pale, sababu Mheshimiwa Savula is not like any other commoner. This is a gentleman who has the right to sit in what is called the CSIC, the County Security and Intelligence Committee of his own county in Kakamega. So when he says kuna uoga, there is some intel that he has. There is some information that he knows about. Now, that information is not for consumers of a political rally or a funeral like where he is seated. He has to retreat back and ask, how can we make good use of the kind of information that I have? He's seated there with the PS for internal security. He has to get back to boosting the security architecture with the information that he has. And I believe that that is part of where we have a challenge. where even NIS, the National Intelligence Service, will do its work. Certain names will be mentioned, but there is probably a fear in touching those specific names.
Could it be down to the character of these individuals? The suggestion that Mishuki would have done a better job says a lot. That yes, you may be given a certain job, but the character that you have simply cannot allow you. That probably PS Omolo is too soft to act on this. CS Murkomen is too arrogant to act on such. And for that, don't you think that the appointing authority needs to change them? If at all you fail in security, why do we insist on keeping you there?
You see, Fred, again, how we appoint people into some of these dockets says a lot, because the president, in his wisdom, has a very good reason why, even upon the reshuffle, he actually appointed Mheshimiwa Kipchumba Murkomen to be the CS. And over time, in his almost end of his first term, he has a good reason why PS Omolo is a PS for internal security. Now, this is something that goes beyond what we can see.
Is there a better reason than protecting the lives of Kenyans? For the president, can there be a better reason for appointing anyone to that position?
So let me just finish my point. Because as you appoint people, remember, all these people sit in these offices by virtue of sovereign power of the Kenyan citizens. These people are vetted by people, individuals who are also elected. So there is a very clear framework within which somebody gets appointed and actually sits in office. The president also chairs what is called the National Security Advisory Council, NSAC, which is also a constitutional body. And to the extent that Kenyans are feeling what they are feeling right now, honestly calls upon the president to begin to ask certain individuals critical questions. And that is why I'm saying that the architecture of security in Kenya allows the DG, Deputy Governor for Kakamega, Mheshimiwa Ayub Savula, the opportunity to volunteer the information so that the county commissioner knows that you imagine that we are afraid. Yes, we are afraid because if we touch so and so, certain phone calls will be made.
And it's down to the same thing. The question now we are asking is, do we have the right people at the helm of managing Kenya's security infrastructure? Because the suggestion that someone else could have done a better job means that whoever is there is unable to do so.
Of course, Fred, you know that the reference to the former CS Mishuki is both unconstitutional, in the sense that we cannot be advocating for extrajudicial killings. Right now, we even are celebrating because we have police officers being paraded in courts, something that you could not see initially. We have people now having to undertake what we call individual responsibility, as opposed to the environment that Mheshimiwa Mishuki operated in. Of course, there was the aspect of fear, and when the President William Ruto came into force, he said, there are certain institutions like special branch, etc., that were in force then that will not, be at play within the context of...
Could it be the problem, advice, that probably our laws have made us choose characters who are not suited for the job? That the structure does not allow a strong character to be in charge of security because there would be excesses in the kind of force they would employ? Because the issue is, what Savula says, another name, another person in the same position would have done different.
Fred, first of all, arrogance does not mean you are good at dealing with security. Because sometimes our judgment of you being good at dealing with security is how much you can shout and how arrogant you can become. And I think that is extremely wrong. I started by saying that, yes, there is a goon problem in Kenya today. But in the struggle to look for a solution, we should not be able to now forget even the gains that the security sector have been able to do so far. I started by telling you about the matters about the banditry in North Rift. The banditry that was so much and the escalation was so much that it made Natembeya a celebrity and therefore made him governor without solving the problem. Today, you don't hear of that. When you look at the issues of counter-terrorism, at some point in this country, we were moving from one terror attack to the other. Since Dr. Raymond Omolo and others came into office, we have not been able to see that. We look at what is happening within our borders. So the truth is that there has been significant progress in terms of taking care of the security infrastructure of the country. Not necessarily through shouting, not necessarily through arrogance, but just putting things in place. And that's why I've kept insisting that even with the goons culture that is cropping up, this is something that they can actually be able to handle. You must also remember, Fred, that cabinet secretary appointments and PS appointments are political appointments. So they will always happen politically. And so we cannot be able to say that we'll always know every reason why whichever office holder holds a cabinet position. Because at the end of the day, it's a discretion of the president. And when the president does that appointment,
yes,
he takes it to parliament.
But do you agree that some appointments, even by the president, have not been probably the best? That some people given certain jobs have not performed at those jobs? Is it a possibility?
Performance, Fred, is about your appointing authority. Your appointing authority knows what you are supposed to do. And therefore, whether you've performed or not, is for him to judge and not the one who did not appoint you. So the reality is that, whereas we have some people that me and you might feel like, wait a minute, like what the PS education said. I was very agitated with it, and last time we had this conversation here, when he talked about this some weird statement that he made that even triggered the president to move him from one place to the other, whereas in my view, I thought he would even have been kicked out instead of being moved. But again, at the end of the day, those are political appointments, and the judgment of how much performance has been done, fortunately or unfortunately, is about the appointing authority. And our law has also been able to give us a laid down structure. That's why Kevin is saying after they do their research, they'll sit down with the heads of these parastatals and be able to give, because that is the structure. Unfortunately, sometimes we want to gaslight the country into just annoyance and believing that we can do some things parallel to the law. If we feel that the law is not serving us, we change the law. We don't just become angry, we change the law.
And if we feel that whoever is at the helm of our security structure is not doing it, we change the person. That is what happens in other jurisdictions. People resign when security apparatus doesn't work properly.
Fred, I think that you accuse me of being theoretical, but I think these guys are being more theoretical.
Other people.
These guys are being more theoretical than I am.
On what now?
There's something we call perfect personality assumption. Normally, when a bank is not performing, they fire the CEO, then they bring a new CEO, isn't it? Kenya Airways has been on this road for the longest time possible. You know that. I can give a case. As an economist, there's something called use case. Is this proposal you're offering having worked anywhere else? When bottom-up economic model was proposed, I said it cannot work. Why? I was an economist at European Central Bank, and Joe Biden proposed it that we help him craft it, because Joe Biden knew that after Obama, he will be president. He will try. So he brought this model in European Central Bank in the year 2009, when I was studying in Spain. I was in Brussels. We sat on it. And my recommendation is that it cannot work. So we gave reasons why it cannot work. When it was proposed by Ruto in Kenya, I said it will not work. Now, no matter who is the president, no matter who is a CS, it is not working. And that's where the problems begins. We can be window dressing this issue, but the fundamental problem in security is economics. Tell me, economically unstable economy, and I'll tell you an economy which has insecurity. And tell me a country with good security, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm just simply telling you that we cannot handle, the policemen cannot handle, no matter who is there. Look at what happened on June 25th. I knew, as among all the organizers of that Mandamano, there'll be only 750 policemen in town. When you bring 1 million, they'll be overwhelmed. So the point we are trying to draw here by saying we cannot become a police state. Raila used to say police state. What is police state? A police state is a state whereby it is governed by how much police have power. You understand? But citizens at work have no issue with you being goons. Because even these guys who use goons, they use people who are not available. How much are they cost? They used to cost 100 bob at some point. Now they have gone to 200. It has gone to 500. The figures continue going up. And the more that figure goes up, the more attracts people who have no job. So we can go in and out and then I want to tell my brother advice. I like what you said when you stated that youth are just being criminals and they should be called for it, isn't it? as a Catholic, they are very tight for people in the church. They are Christians whom, even when they are under distress, they can deal with it. Just like in life, there are people who, a small thing, they say a psychologist, they say a psychiatric. Some of us, we can be under pressure, but we cannot see a psychiatric because we have the mental ability to deal with it. Like, do you know, for example, there's a bishop who went to church and told people that you cannot dress a miniskirt because you put everybody into you put other people in temptation, isn't it? There are people, when they see a miniskirt, it does not matter. Others can't concentrate. So people are different. So just like young people, there could be 80% of them that needs leadership, needs guidance. Why do we talk about leadership when the youth can deal with their own problems? Then let us not even have a government then, so that youth can solve their problems.
Okay.
Government is taking money from people.
My question to you,
and
Prof.
they are responsible
My
to
question
help
to you,
them.
Prof. Do you think we have the right people at the helm of the security
because
structure?
Where does it
Kenya
start?
currently?
You've heard me saying that must go, must go, has to go, is going, in Jesus' name, plus his dogs. So when you see, for example, let me give you an example.
I'm talking about security.
Yes. Let me tell you, from when you become a coach of Manchester club, isn't it? You always come with your coaching team. You understand? When you go with them, isn't it? So when the president was elected, he came with his team. One question we asked Fred, and I can take you back in 2002.
No, because I want us to move on to a different
the
discussion.
team that William Ruto came with to government cannot deliver. You know the intention of a coach, but the team is selects. So this team has not performed.
Okay.
And the only thing we are trying to say here is that the president remains with the mandate. They brought the team of experts, isn't it? The team of experts have not been very expertise enough as well. So the team is not just like one ministry. One ministry you've not had for long in the Ministry of Labor, isn't it? Headed by Alfred Mutua. You understand me? That ministry is the most important ministry for the young people in this country. Because if they fix the problem can work, then don't look at interior as independent ministry.
Okay.
There's interdependence.
All right.
It must work also with the issue of Treasury, how it is doing its own policy, Ministry of Labor, how it is working, isn't it? Education, how it's working. All these things work interrelatedly. You can't say now, you can remove PS Omolo from that ministry, put somebody else, but youth unemployment continues.
Right.
Education is not working.
Right.
There are interrelatedness in this matter.
Thank you, Prof. You wanted to add something?
I just wanted to add that, Fred, as we head towards the next, the 2027 general election, we are seeing an uprising, as you rightfully indicated earlier on, of gangs almost in half of the counties, from Confirm in Nakuru to Panga Boys in, at the coast to Superpower in Nairobi and all these other places. I do not think that we have to specifically domicile this to individuals in the Ministry of Interior. It has to call upon everyone in leadership, particularly within that particular ministry, so that, for example, we have mechanisms or interventions like what we used to have with Kazi Mtani, you know, where young people are mobilized from a specific locality. So in the network, they know themselves, so that as they come to work in the morning, before they are dispersed, a register is clicked, and anyone who is missing, the officer in charge of that particular troop has to account for where Kevin is, so that if there is any mobilization for a political rally, we are able to trace that individual. Ultimately, before they are deployed to go and clean wherever they are cleaning, there is a training. For example, I am privileged to have participated in some of these trainings where you take them through, for example, savings and loaning. So you are paid, say, 700 shillings per day. How much do you save? How long will it take you? Can you even have a loaning mechanism for that money that you are taking? And these are programs that I think that if government is deliberate to be able to cure the concerns around youth unemployment, they are possible. Number two, we have what is called the county aggregation industrial parks. At least half of the counties have something that they are good and known for. And at County Governance Watch and other partners, we normally say, one product, one county. Okay. Can we be able to analyze what kind of industries we can be able to build within the counties, so that this rural to urban to semi-urban migration that we are seeing is actually cured at the county level, which is almost similar to industrialization policy that Prof was talking about. But it has to move from just the political talk and the launch and all these things. We have to see these things being done, and that investment that government is putting in so far as money is concerned, the youth are also able to actually see how beneficial that becomes to them.
On this matter of insecurity, one of the most vocal people on social media, that's Ahmed Nasir Abdullahi, senior counsel. On this case of that case where some gang came into a restaurant and stole a few items, he says, P.S. Raymond Omolo, and this is on his official X handle, P.S. Raymond Omolo sings smooth lullabies on the wonderful roads and affordable houses the government of Kenya builds. Mark you, this is someone who supports this government. And he says, we appreciate the good work by GOK, but he forgot long time his day job. Armed robbers have now taken over our towns. That's Ahmed Nasir Abdullahi, senior counsel, on his X handle. Rule of goons, is Kenya going the Haiti way? Is the question on page 6 of the Standard. Feed goon monster at your own peril, leaders warned. Acts of organized violence are increasingly becoming problem in the democratic space. And another quote here by Archbishop Jackson Ole Sapit, head of the Anglican Church, he says, we live at a time when people are tempted to believe that power belongs to those who command the loudest voices, the biggest crowds, or those with the capacity to intimidate others with weapons and even kill. Serious concerns expressed by some senior members of this society on this growing concern over goons and goonism. 400 days before the next general election. It's what we're trying to talk about. Probably we cannot exhaust it, but we do hope that something will be done, especially by those at the helm of the security infrastructure in Kenya. We always at least try and give some time to politics.